Thank you for taking the time to listen to this recording of the assignment description for the session leader assignment for this course. In this course, you will serve as discussion leader at least once. As a session leader, you are expected to summarize, understand, and draw conclusions based on the course readings. Basically, your role is to clarify the understanding of the participants in the seminar's understanding of the reading and its relation to the big questions of the course. Of course, this is a collaborative effort. You will simply be leading the discussion, not expected to carry the discussion completely. As stated previously, each student will serve as session leader at least once based on the number of sessions that we have and the number of students that are registered. You will need to check the content outline of the course to see when you will serve as leader, but your role doesn't begin that day. It begins prior to that, where you would have to submit your draft to the faculty instructor who you'd be working with in order to create a plan that's viable in terms of leading the discussion. You're expected to send this information to your draft of your plan to the instructor 2 weeks prior to the session, and over that time you will work on email to finalize the plan. I will now go on to outline a 7-step process for creating this discussion facilitation plan. First and foremost, you're expected to read the material carefully. We suggest that you use active reading strategies when you are reading the material. Active reading strategies include things like using highlighters and markers to highlight important content, writing questions or comments in the margins, clarifying or predicting content as you read through the material, and last, where you see that a relationship can be established between the material and the big questions, or the material and your pre-existing knowledge, you can make notes about that as well. You can see more about active reading strategy at the link here. Step 2. You're expected to summarize the material in 200 words or less using your own words. Most discussions will begin with you reminding the readers about what they read. Not a regurgitation of the abstract, but an authentic review or summarization of the reading or readings. Step 3. This course is guided by a series of big questions, and you can see those in the content outline. The purpose of the discussion as well as the reading is to help the students and yourself answer those big questions, or to have a discussion about those big questions. Sometimes those questions don't have a definitive answer. But as the discussion leader, your plan is supposed to link the readings to the big questions that are outlined for that session in the syllabus. Step 4. At the crux of your discussion facilitation plan are your discussion questions. This is where you will spend the bulk of your time planning the plan. That's redundant. But you can ask yourself guiding questions such as, what are the salient ideas from each of the readings? How do you link these ideas to the big questions? How do you link them to your own experience? And last, what might you want to know more about in relation to the salient issues or the big questions? As you can see, these are not discussion questions. These are guiding questions to help you create your discussion questions. Step 5 is the actual plan itself. You will have to submit a written plan to the faculty instructor for the session that you're leading, and you guys will work out how to bring that plan to fruition. Items A through F here describe what should go into your plan. As you read through them, you can see that we're asking you to pull out salient points, create discussion questions, link it to practice, and then last, because you'll be leading the discussion, you need to think about some strategies that you will use for facilitating, furthering, or engaging non-participators in the discussion should it stall. Step 6, you are to submit your draft discussion facilitating plan, as I mentioned previously, to the instructor no later than 2 weeks prior to when you are to facilitate the session. This will allow time for you to go back and forth with the instructor, finalizing and revising and refining the plan, so that you can be ready on the day that you are to facilitate. Step 7, you are to edit the draft plan based on the feedback given to you by the instructor. That plan is supposed to be the final plan is supposed to be uploaded to Canvas no later than 3 days prior to when you will serve as discussion leader. Your role as discussion leader will be graded in two ways, basically the quality of the plan as well as your performance. Your performance is the critical component here in that it's how you bring the plan to fruition. You should expect to lead a dynamic, authentic, and robust discussion during the session. You also want to facilitate other students' ability to contribute to this robust discussion. There is a rubric that for this assignment, it's in the course pages. The criterion on the scoring rubric are twofold. One, rating the quality of your plan, basically your ability to articulate clear strategies for decision facilitation, and as well as your in-class performance. What leadership and engagement and participation did you demonstrate as you led this discussion? By now, you should have a better understanding of what your role of discussion leader might be. If you're still unclear about the readings as well as the process for creating this plan, feel free to discuss it with one of your course instructors. Thank you again.